After traveling through 10 states in our Gearbox Adventure camper van, we finally made it to the beautiful state of Utah, where we plan to see how the Redmond Salt Company produces all of their excellent products. And today we visited one of their farms, which supplies a lot of garden produce to the Redmond Heritage Grocery Store, which I plan to showcase in an upcoming video. But while we were visiting this farm, we met Farmer Rob, who runs the farm.
We just have goats because a couple of years ago our neighbors had some baby goats. We got to get some, we got to get some. And so I went and got goats, and they were exciting for about a week and a half, and now I've been feeding them ever since. I'll show them to you there. We have 2 goats, and one of them's name is Maddie, not Maddie, Maddie, and the other one's Selena Goat Mez. And I did not come up with those names. Isn't it a nice farm?
Wow, this is nice.
There you girls are.
Hey.
They're friendly, if not a little indifferent to people, so.
Hey.
And yes, we know they're a little fat. I was thinking of shopping them around to some Greek people. Put them on a spit or something.
Some Euro meat?
Yeah. You ever see that movie, My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yes.
You know, and I get mad at them, so you're going to end up on a spit in a front lawn someplace. So you better be careful.
Every time I think of that movie, I think it was Windex he was putting on it. Was it Windex?
Windex, yeah. Windex. And I've got some treats if you want to feed them some treats.
You feed them some
See,
treats?
they have us trained. If you just want to go and pet them, they don't want anything to do with you. But if you have a little bit of treat in your hand, they're like, okay, now we've got the treat.
Goat snacks.
Oh, you scared him, Micah. So Rob, how long have you been working this farm here?
We've been working this farm for coming on 9 years. We moved here in 2012.
Okay.
And started really going in earnest in 2013.
Wow.
So that's probably close to 9-10 seasons if my math is correct.
That's great. So what was it that brought you here?
Opportunity, actually. We used to live in a place called West Haven, Utah, which is up by Ogden. And my brother-in-law is Rhett Roberts. And so nepotism has its place. And he knows I like doing this kind of stuff. He said, hey, you want to come up here and work the farm? And we took the opportunity and moved up here, and we've been doing this ever since. And it's been great.
Fantastic. Wow.
Learn a lot every single day.
There we go.
Some lessons I appreciate more than others.
What would you think if we had a barn like this, Sale?
Then we could get a horse.
Of course.
This is a fabulous barn. We really like it. I mean, it was here when we moved in. I'm not sure if we built this design. I've already built one, but hey, it works. So.
Yeah. You didn't have to build it, right?
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm kind of jealous of Rob's barn. It's really, really nice. It's like, man, I'd like to have one of these back home. Ooh, horses.
You like horses? You like horses? You ever feed a horse a cookie? Oh, you got to get some cookies going.
So for like the longest time, Selah has had this fascination with horses. And we don't have horses on our farm yet. But she just loves them so much. She wants to watch them on TV shows and everything. And when she heard we were coming to this farm, she really wasn't excited until she heard about horses here.
These are.
You gonna feed them?
These are delicious. I have a hard time not eating them myself. But they're feeding right now, so I'm not sure how excited they're going to be. But if people come up to them that don't recognize, they usually think they're going to get a cookie. Hi, Sky. This is Sky. Hi, sweetheart. Hello. It's our newest horse. Oh, yourself. My wife is actually the horse person in the family. I don't have really much to do with the horses except feed them, water them, fix the fence, move them around. I'm a big guy, they don't particularly like it if I ride them. Hey. But they're all very sweet. My wife does a really good job with them. That one's Hudson right there.
I beat Hudson.
Hudson had a torn tendon or something in its hoof, and they were getting ready to put him down, and my wife says, no, I'll nurse him back to health. And she did. He's actually capable of being rid now. Wow. She put some Redmond clay on the hoof and on the ankle for like a year and a half, and it seemed to really help it.
Wow.
This is Juliet. Oh, Jules. I call her Juliet.
Ah.
She is very sweet.
Hello.
She's one of the horses that's actually part thoroughbred.
Wow.
So when there's a race, she usually wins.
Wow.
This one coming up is Finn. He is the alpha horse in here. And he loves the camera, so he saw you guys have cameras, and he'll walk up and ham. He got his ears forward.
He's the star of the show. He's not camera shy at all.
He's not camera shy at all.
So you say your wife is the one that rides them?
Yeah, she rides them and stuff. She has a little riding club. They take them and go up into the hills around here.
Oh.
And
Sailor would love that, wouldn't he? To be a part of a riding club, man.
Horses are,
I don't have any more.
and they're a lot of fun. They pick their horses and stuff.
Watch out for your head.
So you mentioned your wife using the Redmond clay on them.
Yeah, we use a lot of we use Redmond rock.
Okay.
Got some hanging around there somewhere.
Okay.
Redmond rock, clay. We're particularly fond of the gold product that they use.
Okay.
And that helps their stomachs and stuff. And we have a horse that we kind of have to take special care of named Poe. He's over in a corral. Cappy! Cappy's ignoring me. Did you feed yours? Here, got it.
I got it.
Anyone need to reload?
I didn't get to feed one yet. Here we go. Here we go. Eat it. That's the best way to do it. There we go. Do you have a favorite horse here?
I don't. I kind of treat them like poodles. You know, they're like pets to me. But they're all very sweet. I love Poe. I work with Mr. Poe the most. We can take you over and show you him. But he's the one I have trained the best. But they're all just the sweetest horses.
Do you have a favorite animal on the farm here?
Very, very gentle.
I'm fond of the chickens.
Okay.
Not the goat.
Yeah. The goats. I think the chickens and the bees are my favorite. And the trout. We have trout here too. So
Trout's pretty tasty.
I haven't eaten one out of our pond yet.
Okay.
I've caught a few of them, but it's always a catch and release type of thing. You want them to eat your hat, huh?
You like to get close. You just want to be on camera, huh?
Oh yeah, they've come down and done some done some shots for Redmond shoots, and it's funny to watch him. He just hams it right up and says, "Oh, this is my best side. This side here, this side."
So you're getting some of your horse therapy in right here.
Yeah.
Can't get it at home.
No.
You don't have horses?
No, she wants them.
I want a donkey.
Horses are
I want a
investments.
donkey too.
Or what? I'm sorry?
Investments.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I'm usually losing ones.
Yeah, so that's why we don't have one. Hello.
Horses are cool. One thing we like about the horse, at least I do, because I'm more of the garden guy, is they turn all these bales of hay into manure for the garden.
Yeah.
So we have piles of it over there that we'll gather up on from time to time and till it into the garden. We have some pretty nice crops of stuff. Yeah, you like those horses all right.
So you are getting something out of them with the poop and
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
some expensive manure though.
Yeah, it always is. But it doesn't go to waste.
Yeah.
In fact, just before you guys got here, I was down pricing urea, because we usually put urea on this field at the end of the season, and this year it's more than doubled from last year.
Oh wow.
And I don't know if we're going to do it or not, just kind of depend on the horse plop.
You are sweet.
Because I am very sweet. But this one's my wife's very favorite too.
I can see why.
Yeah, there you got that camera's on him. He knows what that's all about.
I I really like being around Mr. Rob's horses, especially Finn. He was my favorite. I like being around horses because they make me feel free, and I've always wanted a horse. And it's been like my dream since I was like a toddler. So I like feeding his horses. It's like I have a connection with them.
Well, you can take them home with you if you want. You can stick them in that van.
Yeah. It was great getting to see Selah with the horses because we know how much she really enjoys spending time with them. And I say, you know, whenever I was a kid, I really enjoyed horses too. So since she was having such a good time, Mike and I went and finished the tour with Rob and let Selah hang out with the horses.
We probably should move on. Selah could be here all day long.
All right.
But I want to see
she
what
would
else
stay
you have here on the homestead.
Okay, well, I can show you gardens or chickens.
Let's go to gardens next.
Let's go to the garden. Got some raised beds that need to weed and get planted again. So the season is just starting up. In Utah, we have secondary water, which is not like culinary water where it's all treated, but it's actually, you know, the water taken more or less directly out of lakes and streams, and they come in on a separate system. And here it's pressurized, so most of these boxes here used to be on manual valves, and you know, we have sprinklers set all over the place. And I would go out every night or whatever day I'd have it scheduled and go just turn the valve manually. But last year I installed a whole bunch of automatic valves that are on a schedule that I run off my phone. And so that's cut down on a lot of work. And all this drip system is on that too.
So one of the things that I've noticed just from our time here in Utah is that water can be scarce. It's hard to get.
Very scarce, yeah.
So
yeah.
that secondary water, does that provide you with all the water that you need?
As long as it's there, yes.
Okay.
It provides a lot of the water. Last year, it was funny because last year was super dry here. And we were getting into midsummer and I was getting really worried I wouldn't be able to keep up and there wouldn't be enough water, but all of a sudden we got like 3 inches of rain in August.
Wow.
And that really helped out the situation a whole lot. This is my greenhouse. I just got done planting peppers yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So I still have my tools and stuff out. But we've got tomatoes. We're gonna have cucumbers up against that wall right there.
So with the climate you guys here, this greenhouse is a huge
Oh, absolutely.
benefit.
I have not grown a tomato outside successfully
Wow.
yet. I have not. So everything's been in the greenhouse, and I plant early to mid-March in here. Actually, I start the seeds right around Christmas.
Okay.
And transplant out here early to mid-March. This year was more mid-March. And everything's starting to take off. One problem that we have had in the past is mice getting under this plastic. And you put a nice fresh tomato plant in there, which, you know, it's $1 plus a seed for a greenhouse tomato variety, and those little buggers just climb right in and go snap it and just pull it under and eat it because there's no other green.
Yeah.
And so that's why we've put in these little cages right here, and that is to keep the little buggers away from the stems. And they've worked very well. I'm not sure if I stole the idea from somebody or if I came up with it myself. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I did get a proof of concept when we were pulling these up at the end of one season. There was a dried out mouse sticking through one of the squares.
Oh, wow.
He got stuck. And I said, there's proof of concept right there. I like that. So.
Now how does this plastic work on here? I haven't seen that before.
The plastic it's just basically a plastic mulch just to keep the weeding down. Okay. I have drip lines underneath, and we just lay a fresh layer of plastic down. This is the first year we're trying white plastic. I'm a little bit worried about how well it suppresses weeds. We shall see. But it's to keep the temperature a little more, because it gets really hot in here.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So we use the woven landscape fabric to keep the weeds down, but the plastic I can see could help keep the heat in here even more, especially for you guys. And
you know, it's funny though. I'm running a little experiment on see what the soil temperatures are under the white plastic, under the black plastic. And last week I started taking my first readings. And doggone if the white plastic wasn't more
Wow.
More heat to it, by just a degree or two.
Interesting.
So
I wouldn't have thought that.
I wouldn't have thought of that either. We're going to see if the data holds out when I do it over the next month or so. Today's another day I need to run the temperature and see what happens. We just got peppers in, and these tomatoes run up the strings, which is...
We do the hard pruning method too, and I absolutely love it. It's so much easier to find the fruit, to prune the plant. So much better.
Absolutely, yeah.
So everything you produce in here, where does it go?
Well, a lot of this, Redmond has some cafes that and stores that I sell a lot of this to. And also a lot of it is sold locally. I have a customer base here in the valley that'll come by and they get to pick it. And, and so they know it's fresh.
There you go.
And they'll come in here and they'll just do it that way. Last year I had a hard time keeping tomatoes red in here because I had some people picking them when they were green. We have a pretty vibrant Latino population in the valley, and get a lot of those folks over here. And they're like, yeah, I'm gonna grab it. And stuff. So.
Do you grow any tomatillos or anything for that?
I haven't. You know, and just as you brought it up, I was thinking maybe I should. Or grow some hotter peppers.
Yeah.
All this stuff is one variety of bell pepper or another.
Okay. It looks great in here.
So
fantastic.
I put in a new watering system this year, so if I'm in another part of the country, I can monitor the watering and stuff, which is kind of the day and age we live in.
Yeah.
This the day after Christmas, we had a real bad windstorm, probably 70-mile-an-hour plus winds, and it sheared all this plastic right off.
Wow.
So I'm still repairing the greenhouse from that. We put new plastic on, I put new sides on, and
I've been through some of that before. It's not fun.
We've had our high tunnel picked up, turned on its side, and it was like all crumpled and everything.
Yeah.
That's even with ropes. We have ropes on top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The winds around here. Basically here I have these little rectangles. It's about 2 acres here. And we'll plant and I'll rotate from rectangle to rectangle. Last year we had squash in here. This year we're going to be growing a lot of potatoes.
Okay.
So potato, sweet corn. I love growing corn. That's my favorite crop to grow. But I tell you, when your corn matures here, if you can get it mature before the frost, because sometimes we'll get the frost here early September, and it's like ringing a dinner bell. The deer come in, the raccoons come in.
I don't doubt it.
And the birds come in. And last year I did a lot better. I actually able to harvest and sell probably 15% of the crop.
Wow.
But the year before it froze out before I even got.
Oh man.
Just as it was maturing, it got frost and winds. And
so when do you plant corn here?
I've been kind of pushing it early. Most years I've been doing June 1st. I'm going to try to push it up in mid, 20th of May, 19th of May, around in there, just to get a few more days, because a few more days on the other end is. Potatoes seem to be a lot more tolerant. We also grow a lot of cabbage and onions, and they don't seem to mind the cold as much. I'm rebuilding some hoop houses too, so.
Wind do some damage on this one too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, wind did some damage. And my neighbor is not talking to me now because all the plastic went over there. So.
Oh no.
And it took me weeks to get around to getting it cleaned up, so I don't blame him really. No, just a few chunks went over there. This is our exalted compost pile.
Ooh, that looks good right there.
I am getting ready to give it a good stirring. What we like to do is collect it over the summer as much as we can.
Okay.
And then in the fall, before the snows fall and the ground freezes up, I like to put it into the soil and try to incorporate as much then.
Yeah.
Let it cook over the winter.
Yeah, this is a nice pile here.
Utah can be a really tough place to compost because it's hard to keep moisture relatively even through the pile.
So how do you do that?
I try to keep it as moist as I can and hope for the best.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm terribly concerned at how composted it is when it goes into the ground, because we do it during autumn and by spring a lot of it's so broken down, whatever microbes, worms, you name it, it just tills right up and does really well. I'll take some of this over to Rhett's garden he has on the other side of his house, and we put a lot on there. Man, his crops were so gorgeous last year.
Yeah. So how often do you stir up the compost pile?
Not nearly as much as I should.
Okay.
But
you got the Kubota there. You can whenever you're ready.
Got a bigger bucket and ready. Somebody asked me what's the most valuable commodity on a farm, and I said time. And just having the time and organizing it properly has always been a challenge, because things come up, things break.
That makes sense.
And so yeah, we need to get a good pile, get a good cherry going, and get it nice and hot. You know, it's good when we get like a half a foot of snow, and it's not on the top and it looks like a volcano. It's just steaming out of the top.
I love that.
I've heard of some people using the heat and putting like a radiator in there or something, and heating greenhouses.
Yeah, I've heard that, and even hot water for their shower or whatever.
Hot water, yeah.
Oh, you do your starts in there too?
Oh yeah, I can show you those.
Yeah.
And we also have a organic bug abatement crew.
Oh.
And they're the swallows that come in.
Oh wow.
And last year they built a whole bunch of nests. A few of them have fallen down and stuff, but
that's neat.
You know, around sunset it's like air battles going on. They're just zooping around and getting all the mosquitoes. Last year was great. A lot of times we get deer flies here.
Yeah.
And mosquitoes, and they did a really good job. So we try to encourage them to show up. We've got some filters that are going in this spring, because one thing about secondary water, there's a lot of junk and seeds and stuff like that. And these are automatic filters, and hopefully that'll keep things clean.
Wow.
So, but yeah, this is my seed trays, and we got cabbage and got a few tomatoes. But yeah, mostly cabbage. And we're just starting to get a few other tomatoes. I'm growing these for a friend that he saved the seed from some other tomatoes. But once these start getting true leaves, they'll go out into the greenhouse and they'll be automatic watered. This is my, this is actually an orange tree.
Oh wow.
I told you before I'm from Southern California. And my mom died in October, but 6 months before they moved out of their house and moved to Arizona, and the house they lived in for 58 years. Wow. And we had orange trees. And I took the last orange that I picked from the place and was able to get one seed germinate. So, and this is it.
That one's fantastic.
Little Valencia orange. I call it Myrtle because I grew up on a street called Myrtle. So. Wow. So we'll see how long that one stick around with us. But yeah, we do a lot of seed starting here, and it's not that much time, and it cuts down a lot if you want to go to the nursery and buy cabbages and stuff.
I see you got different types of lights. So do you have a system for that?
Well, yeah, actually the system is that when these lights burn out, I replace them with a LED light. Okay. Because before it was all fluorescent. Yeah. And fluorescent's actually getting more costly now, and it's not as environmentally clean as so I've been led to believe. So when these things burn out, instead of replacing them, I'll just get a new one of these and then try to, and actually I've been pretty pleased with the LED lights. Okay. So they burn a lot less electricity, and the plants seem to like the light too.
This setup here for starting seeds is really, really simple. He did it right in his garage. So it just shows an example of just how simple it is to grow things.
And as we're walking around the farm with Rob and he's showing us all that he has going on, you just can't get away from the beauty of this place. You know, we aren't used to the big tall mountains that have snow on them around our house, but it's just so pretty to see the landscape, and you know, what a view to have every day.
Hi girls. These are the girls. I've had people, because we have a clientele for eggs, and I had one guy ask me, I said, your chickens free range? I said, heck, they're open range. If you know what the requirements are for free range, which are interesting. Yeah. But we have a little I'll have to show you. This is really cool. But we have a little automatic door that lets them out in the morning and closes them up at night.
Oh, is it solar power?
No, it's battery power.
Battery power, okay.
But yeah, the chickens are fun. They give us some great eggs. You know, farm-raised eggs, or really fresh eggs, are like drugs to some people.
Yeah.
You know, if I want some new business, I'll give them a dozen and say the next one's going to cost you.
Yeah.
But especially during the midsummer with the yolk and the firmness of the egg, it's just hard to beat.
Yeah.
You don't want store-bought anymore.
No. That's kind of how it is with a lot of farm produce. Once you eat that, it's
Right.
like you really don't want it. You become pickier.
That's like, you know, I grew up around those Valencia orange trees in California, and I'm a citrus snob. I'm ruined for the rest of my life. This is the chicken coop. This was here when we moved in. We've just painted and stuff, but we got this door from Omelette, and this is the greatest thing. This has cut down on so much work for me because the chickens put themselves to bed. You don't need to come and catch them and put them in. And we have this thing set with a light sensor, and the appropriate time, closes right up and keeps all the critters out.
Wow.
The first night I lived here, because we had chickens in West Haven, I brought my chickens here and I forgot to close up because I normally didn't do it there. And literally at 1:30 in the morning I woke up to this terrible sounds coming out of here. And it was raccoons raiding. And they were just tearing my chickens right up. So I was out here at 1:30 in the morning with a Mossberg shotgun popping them out of these trees, because they would climb onto the roof.
Oh man.
And I'm sitting there like, whatever.
Oh man.
So raccoons are fauna non grata around here.
Yeah, we're they're in the same boat with me. They can be pretty vicious.
They can be cute. They can look neat. I'll shoot every last one of them.
I'm right there with you.
I don't play.
Yeah, we had when we first started raising chickens, we had them in this like dog kennel where they would go up into, and the raccoon would pull them through the chain link fence and eat them through the fence. It was just wow.
Well, these raccoons were actually just killing them to kill them.
Yep.
They weren't running off. Maybe they thought they'd come back and run off with them and stuff.
Yeah, wow.
But I got like 3 that night, and maybe wounded a couple other, which is good because the wounded will go back and tell the others not to come over here.
Yeah, I've caught them before too, and one of them was just growling at me.
Oh yeah, they growl.
They're cute but vicious.
Glad you guys came. We always like visitors. It's part of what we do here is take time to show people.
Yeah.
Just don't steal any of my good ideas. It's all patent pending.
It's a beautiful place here.
Well, thank you. We really love it.
Keep up the good work. All right, Rob. Thank you so much again. We really appreciate you showing us around. And,
come back anytime.
Thank you.
Especially when something's growing.
There we go.
Put us to work, right?
Hey, that's okay. We like to work.
That's right. Yeah, you say that.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's load up. Get out of Rob's hair.
Thank you, Mr. Rob.
You're welcome. Come by anytime.
We really enjoyed seeing this farm. It was really hard for us to leave, especially for Selah, but we still have a lot more to see during our time here in Utah. Stay tuned for more of our upcoming adventures. We got the opportunity to meet this lady who left the corporate life and city life to milk cows, as well as we got to blow some stuff up.
There we go. 2 for 2.
And see if we made it through the salt mine.